You hear that owl? Food, food. Beautiful. Okay, so part 3, which was another, I didn't intend, right? It's just the way it worked. And regarding the folks who I described in my earlier videos about encounters with psychopaths and things like that, right? I was standing there with the breadfruit, sharing it with the people, my 2 friends in the village. That's where the workers who service all the tourist needs, and the builders, right? They all live outside of town. Tikiviti, they call the name of the town. It's not really a town, it's like a little... Anyway, it's a cool place. Right underneath a big, huge cell phone tower. It's so typical here. It's some of the most beautiful place you ever want to see, but... yeah, really strong polarity. Anyway, it's good for the ride, good for the learning. Yeah, so there I was standing on the side of the road with my friend Pio and this other lady who is straight out of, oh my gosh, so many different ancestor stories from all over the world, you know. She's kind of like got blindness in one of her eyes, you know. She who's, and they say when one of your senses is dulled, the other ones are more enhanced. So she's a beautiful lady, and she has a lovely garden, a really beautiful relationship with all the plants. Yes, and we were standing there talking, and all of a sudden I was like, ooh, something feels NQR, not quite right. So I turned and I looked over my shoulder, and sure enough, who's coming walking down the street? This former childhood actor, the violent psychopath named Maria. With the brood in tow. I don't know, next generation's future career criminals. I don't know what her aspirations are for her children, but I can clearly see the example that they are receiving. And that's how the little ones learn, right? They look at us for an example. So, anyhow, that was just coincidence, right? Of course, there is no coincidence, but you know, I didn't plan that. But she got so scared just walking past me. And again, if you're standing in righteousness and you know you haven't done anything wrong, or you know you're not on the wrong side of natural law, right? You've adhered to the Creator's, you know, natural law, the never initiate violence, do not covet, do not steal, right? All this, like, I don't know. Then you don't have anything to be worried about, nothing to be afraid of, right? Now she get all paranoid, and she apparently called her husband George. It would seem, according to Pio, that George and Maria have, por fin, in their mid to late 30s, possibly early 40s. I don't know. Could be. I'm gonna say at least mid to late 30s. Have, for the first time, as I can see, had to leave their house and go to work. That's what I hear anyway. That's what Pio said. He said they're down that road there. And they're engaged in, you'll never guess, a used car business. Anyway, Hey, at least they're getting up and going to work. Maybe they blew through my life savings in a couple of years. That money was supposed to last me 25 years, yo. I guess they blew through that, and now they gotta get up and go to work. Daggone it. Poor babies. I think I was like 5 when I got my first job. Anyway, I digress. So, anyway, right after she was walking down the road, there was a car that pulled out of the driveway with what I could see blacked out windows. I was unable to identify if it was the same car that had followed me before the first time. It could be, I'm not sure. I didn't get a video of that one. But anyway, it doesn't matter. And the car pulled backwards out of the driveway and faced in our direction to sort of leave and go down the hill and leave the village. But he sat there and he didn't move. And then all of a sudden he just popped back inside the gate, the driveway, and closed the gate. Like he changed his mind. He wasn't gonna drive past me and Pio in that vehicle. So we are out there just shooting the shit, me and Pio, and talking about all kinds of stuff, having a good time. It's getting hot, right? Super hot. Anyway, we're standing out on the side of the road, me and Pio. And now comes somebody as hot as it is, dressed up in a hat with a scarf going almost completely around his face, and I don't know how else to describe them other than the kind of goggles you would wear in a sandstorm. Like, it was like goggles. It wasn't a pair of sunglasses. And, you know, so like all the facial features were completely covered in the head and everything. And the guy, oh, and before he walked past, he stood up at the top of the street taking photos and videos, and without either my permission or Pio's permission or George's mom's permission. You know, as you do. Why? Obviously, you know who I am. What's your purpose of gathering my photo or my capturing me on video? Well, not just me, but my friends and my car and my license plates. And I know that to be the location of the whereabouts of a violent psychopath who's, you know, inflicted untold numbers of massive crimes against me. Last time I count, it was somewhere around, I don't know, 16 different counts of... Anyway, because they love their legal system. Violations of natural law, we'll call it that. Yeah, you bet they're scared. Look at that. A gringa can do that to a whole gang of Mexicans from Mexico City. Big man, Mr. George. One that broke into my house in December 2021. Shut off my electricity, shut off my water, and told me, put his fists in my face and told me to get out of his house. That George. I believe it was him, or it was one of his acquaintances, that he made sure to keep his voice. He didn't say nothing as he was going past us. I could make out he was saying something to somebody on the phone up the road, but as soon as he got near us, he'd shut the phone off, and or at least he stopped talking. I don't know if he kept his phone recording or not. Anyway. Well, I'll just keep pumping out content as long as I can. And I hope you find some value in it. You know, maybe not this freaking literal Mexican soap opera that I'm going through. Like, literally, these. By the way, did I tell you? I've heard, anyway, that George used to direct. Or he was somehow or another involved with the production. I'm not kidding. Of the Mexican soap opera. Yeah, I'm just going to say that much. And if you don't know what I'm talking about when I say Mexican soap opera, well, you'll just have to see it for yourself. But yeah, apart from that, there's all kinds of other stuff to talk about, like industries of the future and ancestor stories and, you know, esoterics and other interesting topics covering rituals. Oh, yeah, check it out, family. I don't want to be like this drama, this series here that I just like started recording 2 weeks ago is like it represents less than 1/10 of 1% of all the other videos I posted. So dive right in and help yourself. It's my honor to share it with you. And it's their honor to remind all of us that it's one big cosmic joke. And the important thing is to always be ready to laugh. And be, you know, like the clown, right? Did you ever see his face? He's the green feathers outside, and then his face is, hey, literally looks like a clown. The first time I ever talked to one of those guys was in Ecuador. I was walking around feeling bad for somebody back in the States who I was really close to, and I got really sucked into the drama of his life, and I was, yeah, I was kind of like, I don't want to say moping around, but I was like heavy with emotion. And these parrots, they flew right over the top of my head, like I swear, less than a foot, right over the top of my head. And that we were saying, did I remember? Just remember what Bill Hicks said? It's just a ride, right? Oh, just a ride. I don't know what installment this is here, but I don't know where I'll put it, in which playlist. Maybe I'll put it in more than one, I don't know. Okay, ciao for now.